Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name is Adam, and as always, joined by my mate Baker. How are you doing this evening, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
It's good. It's weird, isn't it? It's not the greatest FPL week for us, but it's hard not to be happy this evening, mate.
Oh, no, FPL was a total disaster. And actually, I've been on the wrong side of variance relating to Tottenham as well. So, yeah, just an absolute disaster. Well, not disaster, but Son is a pain in my arse from an FPL point of view. And, you know, if some idiot had told me to buy him, like, I don't know, like you, for example, then I might have been all right. But yeah, no, as I said, as I said in that pod, I mean, I just couldn't get to him from a price point of view, and it's painful not having him. And yeah, Kulu's great, but he's not Son.
It's a waste of having as good a passer as Harry Kane, not having Son. That's the thing, is Harry Kane's the best man on the pitch every week. But and there was a lot of competition today, but what you do know is he will carve open some beautiful chances.
Yeah.
And that could have been even more Son today. And we're getting to a position, aren't we, where he's at about 50% owned. So if he scores and Kane creates it, you get nothing for Kane.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So
you're losing.
How do we deal with that? How do we deal with that? Do we go away from Salah, perhaps?
I think it's going to make some really interesting stuff, because a lot of people have got free hits. Well, a lot of people will be free hitting 33 or 36.
Yeah.
And I've seen loads of people saying 36, you can come off the Spurs assets. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
And in 33, could be similar. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Good weekend, though, generally speaking.
Great weekend, mate.
Do anything else?
Very good.
Anything interesting?
No, weather's been a bit weird, snow and stuff.
Snow at the end of March. Mad.
It's really odd. So, no, been good, mate.
Cool.
Very good. You?
Yeah, went out with the kids today. Did a bit of bike riding with the kids while the weather was, warmer than normal. But yesterday was all about my daughter. Just she does, my eldest, just dancing and gymnastics. So it's very difficult to plan stuff when you've always got to be picking her up and things like that. So, yeah, not really much yesterday. So I got to watch a bit of football and then today with the kids, and then come home and watch that football. So happy days.
Happy days, mate. All right.
Cool.
What we doing?
Well, I mean, in terms of where to find us, so at Above Average FPL on Twitter, at Baker FPL343 for Baker. The podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Google. You guys know all this already. We're also on YouTube. If you're watching, hi. And our YouTube's going really, really well. So, if you do like what we're doing, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit like on that video. That really, really helps us. And it helps us get our content to more and more people. So if you do that already, thank you very much. If you don't, do it. What else do we normally plug? Oh, yeah, the channel is supported by our mate Dan. So Dan, he's at CryptoBlockDan on Twitter. He is involved in the crypto space. He works as a games analyst for, some of these play-to-earn crypto companies. Really, really interesting guy. And so I always suggest go and follow him. And, if you've got any questions about crypto, then, drop him a follow, drop him a message. We have something else to plug this week.
Do we?
So let's do that.
He's too nice, mate. Like we can't say no to him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
So let's do that first. Oh, do you like the transition, by the way?
I love it, mate. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. Like I said yesterday, for those watching, it's like one of my favourite Tottenham shirts combined with the Simpsons star wipe. If anyone's seen the Ned Flanders dating video, that's what it reminds me of that, combined with, was it the 1987 Tottenham yellow shirt?
Yes, it might be very much that one. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is good. So if you can see it on screen, you already know what we're going to talk about. If you haven't, if you're listening on the podcast, I mean, the community is doing a lot of great things at the moment. There's a lot of great things going on about the moment that we should all be trying to get involved in if we can. One of those things that is coming up is Fantasy Football Fest. This is it's in London at the Waterloo Arches. It's the second one, and this one has been, rearranged, which was previously postponed due to COVID. And so they've now got the second date in there now. It's the 22nd of April. Doors open at 4:00. It's going to be a fantastic evening with tons of people from the FPL community. There are going to be some top managers there. You're going to have James Richardson and Kelly Summers who are going to be hosting the event. The event is £20 for a ticket. You do get yourself a free drink, which means, it's only going to cost you a fiver because drinks in London are like 15 quid each. I'm joking. Right. It's more like the other way around. But so yeah, FPL, Fantasy Football Fest should be an absolutely excellent evening. And yeah, if you have any questions about it, I mean, you can look at the Twitter accounts below that I've already placed, which is at @FF_Fest for the Fest account, at FFFestEd for Ed. He is hosting and running the event, or you can message Gianni at Gianni Petici. And I was just going to mention as well, if you are, coming alone or traveling from, quite a distance down there, that you should have a look at FPL Meets and speak to maybe FPL Nima, who is doing a sort of an early meetup at like 1:00 on the somewhere just round the corner. And the idea is, a bit uncomfortable going into a sort of a room with 200 people that you don't know. Even though you sort of interact with them on a daily basis, and you want sort of a more relaxed setting with sort of 25, 30 people, you can get along to, the pre-meet or whatever you want to call it. And then everyone from there will go over to Fest, basically as a group. And then you'll have already spoken to a few people. So if there's anybody uncomfortable, with, large numbers of people straight away, then, that's always there as an opportunity.
Get on it, good people. So we've got 2 tickets, is that right? To give away?
We've got 2 tickets to give away. Yeah, you've got a ticket. You're going, right?
Yeah, I'm going.
So Baker's going.
I haven't bought my ticket yet, but I am going.
Right. Okay. You better do that.
Yeah, I do need to do that.
I can't get down there. It's too far for me to come down from London, from Aberdeen down to London, unfortunately, just for that evening. I might have been able to get to the first one, but when it was postponed and with COVID and stuff, I just can't do this one. But yeah, we've got 2 tickets to give away. So it's a competition, but it's kind of a giveaway. You don't really have to do very much to do it. So if you would like a ticket to Fantasy Football Fest on the 22nd of April, then all you have to do is either comment on our YouTube video or comment on our Twitter post for the podcast and just comment, "I want a ticket." That is it. And then, in like a week's time, we will pick 2 people to have a ticket, and we'll do that randomly, and we can do it on next week's pod or something like that.
Marvelous.
Yeah, easy as that.
Done.
Cool. Right, that's a lot of talking about stuff that isn't our game week.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Let's get into the.
Well, we can get past that very quickly, mate, because it's not particularly good news, and
so we love FPL Optimized. Although I'm really unsure about my my graph there. I don't even know if that's my graph. Hold on a second. That's your graph. That's definitely your graph.
That's definitely my graph. So my graph.
You talk about your team. I'm going to check mine because that doesn't look right.
Yeah. Well, we'll as I said, we'll get through this quickly. But from my perspective, to be fair, it could be a lot worse. I've got James and Trent didn't play, or James basically didn't play in that, and I've got no Robbo, Cancelo, Laporte, any City, all those guys. So I was always up against it. The fact that one of them didn't double figure against me, I feel like I've got away with it. It could have been much, much worse. So take it, move on, small loss. And hopefully pick something up if Weghorst decides to go nuts in midweek. I could pick it up if Arsenal get a clean sheet tomorrow, but don't really want it. So it's what it is.
There you go. Mine's changed. Mine's changed. There we go. Mine's changed now. It's changed.
Is that worse?
It's still. Yeah, I don't know. Probably. Hold on. Let me just change it back. Can I change it back? Oh no, I've overwritten the file.
No, it's done, mate.
So it's bad. Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah, basically it's bad. So I've got well, funny enough, it was only just a bad decision to change my captaincy at the last second, but yeah, it's all a bit of nothing really. I mean, I've got still Pope and Pope, Tierney, Saka, and Martinelli to play. As much as I want Arsenal to lose tomorrow, I've got 3 Arsenal, which is perfect. Yeah, took a hit for James in the last 2 minutes before the deadline. Thanks for the benching. Cheers for the 0 points. Was just glad that he didn't get
Good.
booked. But I do have the double dream team at the back, Laporte and Cancelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't get any bonus from there, which is a bit frustrating, but KDB sweeps that stuff up all the time. And yeah, got the luckiest Rafinha assist I think you'll ever see, I think. And then Kulu, Kane, and Salah. So I don't have any players over 6 points. So yeah, it's just not very good. And you know, Son, Doherty today absolutely killed me.
Hammered.
And just absolutely ruined me. I mean, I'm looking at my game table, you know, and I was expected to take a net 1.88 point loss from the Tottenham game. Took 9.7 points loss. So
they're quite a good team, Tottenham.
Tottenham, quite good. Yeah, who'd have thought it? So
should we talk about some other good teams, and then we'll talk about them later?
Let's do that. Right. So let's move on to, and sorry, no transition at this point. Oh no, wait, oh, okay, just for you. Hold on, here we go. Ready?
And start wipe.
There we go. Lovely. We'll get bored of that at some point.
We won't. Liverpool.
Good. Although, yeah, no, you can see from the graph. I mean, yeah, you see from the graph here, Watford started well, and we know Watford started well, and it was quite quiet up until the point where Jota just went.
It's not really a Liverpool performance though. When you look at that XG accumulation, is that you've got obviously a header from like 3 yards, so that's obviously going to get huge XG, and then a penalty, which obviously gets huge XG. So that's actually, if you take it away from that, about 1 XG accumulated across the rest of the whole match. And you can see it's almost like that City like accumulation, little. No big chances really. I thought Watford played pretty well.
Yeah. I didn't think Watford were bad. I mean, you know, I think they were. Did you think it was a penalty?
I feel like it's just trying to use a toy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we've got VAR, we can show you something, and actually go, this is why it's valuable, because you can't argue it's not foul, but it's like, who cares?
Like, no one was fussed about it. At the
it was
time.
just like literally like,
Roy said
right,
it as well.
Roy said it as well.
Like, no one even knew why they were looking at it, and even Jota was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but it's almost something like at the end of the season they'll be like, oh, no one would have seen this, but we picked it up.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, thanks.
So that was it, really. Watford were miles better than we expected them to be. And Liverpool, I don't know, maybe it's we've got Europe in between and it's a bit conserving.
Maybe. I mean, there was elements of you know how their kind of midfield set up, which may have limited certain things, which we can look at. But
yeah,
you know, it might just be one of those games where, you know, it was just important to get over the line, and it really wasn't, as you say, just not really using a ton of energy to make sure that happened.
I think it's also that Bobby Firmino is not a very good player anymore. Like,
no, he's not great.
Not really. Not for this team. This team have gone past him. Yeah. You know, he was excellent at doing a certain thing, but this team have now gone past him. That's the thing that I notice when I watch it, is that they don't need a false 9 or someone working on doing
a massive upgrade on him. I mean,
massive upgrade.
Just rruthless as well.
And Diaz is a massive upgrade. Yeah. You know, you noticed not having those players. The Mane, you know, is something. Mane was a lot of energy just coming on the end. I know he's going to be, but I mean, Firmino's
how do you feel they're going to set up then? Because I feel like Jota should be the nail in that side, and I feel like the Mane, Salah, Mane trio should be the 3 that rotate within the 2, and I think that means that maybe it might be until next season, but that's going to be a Mane Diaz rotation potentially. I don't think Mane's going to be too happy about that at all. He's going to be livid about that, but I don't know. Unless they do what they've been doing. They have run Salah through the middle as well. There is opportunity for all 3 of those, but they just all 4 of those players are really direct.
Yeah,
and they really all want to score.
Yeah.
Whereas Firmino, you feel like he just wants to sit there and help out, which is just not what they need anymore.
No,
as you said.
They've got good enough midfielders to not need it anymore.
Yeah, I thought Joe Gomez was decent in Trent's absence.
Yeah,
and a couple of balls that he whipped in were just delicious, but he'll sit back on the bench next week.
He will do. And Robbo genuinely hated that. Absolutely hated not owning him there. The amount of times that he was trying to get on the end of crosses for headers and just in there, like he's the second best wing back in FPL now after Matt Doherty. Literally, he's that good.
Yeah,
he was incredible. How we only got 6 points out of that game, phenomenal.
Yeah. So, but Salah though.
Well, it's just the midfield, mate. It's just the midfield is you've got two doing a really good job. I thought Thiago was brilliant. I thought Hendo was brilliant. And Hendo, he knows that role. He knows he covers the right side. He does the decoy runs out wide to try and create a space. Thiago just bossed it. Like there were so many good passes. And also you can see that Thiago is a really good reason why Robbo is such a good asset, because he's so good at the through ball. But they played a three-man centre midfield, and it's not Fabinho in the middle, it's Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones did not play in central midfield.
No.
Curtis Jones just hanging out on the right wing. Just hanging out on the right wing. End of last season, he played a little bit off the left of the three, and I liked him coming in, on his right foot. I thought it really suited him. But out there, he slows the ball down. Just his passing compared to everybody, just in general, just lack of passing. I know that he only played limited minutes in it, but even just the touches. So he had, I get the stats on him. But basically, he had 2 touches for every pass, whereas Henderson and Thiago, it's about 1.5 touches per pass. So it's move, get it, move quick, get it, move quick, get it, move quick. Is they're not taking 2 touches on the ball. He always needs 2 touches on the ball, and it just slows it down. He hangs out on the right-hand side and then but he's not got no pace, so he doesn't go past anyone. So guess what happens? Salah gets dragged to him. He then comes inside and leaves Salah out there. It was just horrific for him. There's our friend Salah on the screen, for those who can see him. Honestly, it destroyed him. Saying that, most touch was shit. Yeah. It was bad. Like, he'd looked well devoid of confidence on it. I'm not sure even if that was Trent out there and, not Curtis Jones hanging out on the right wing. I'm not sure it'd have been that much better.
I mean, for a player this season that's had a lot of good things, he's taken a couple of big punches in the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
AFCON took it out of him physically and mentally. Definitely. As much as you can say physically he's a robot and blah blah blah. Physically and mentally would have taken a lot out of him. And then he misses a penalty in that qualifier as well. And then Mane nails one. Yeah. I don't know. He hasn't scored an open play goal since Norwich. Gameweek 26. And yes, he didn't play in 30, but he doubled in 29.
Yep.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So he's played. He's played one fixture a game week on average, and that was like his only open play goal since like before Christmas. And granted, there's AFCON, but so he scored something. What has he scored? 4 goals, 3 penalties since Christmas.
Something like that. It's just playing too many games, mate. He's playing too many minutes, too many games, and it's hurting him. He looks sloppy. So,
but you still can't go away from him because he's capable.
Of course he is. And if he'd been on the pitch, it'd have had that penalty at the end, and it would have all been gone, and it'd have been fine. And he normally will be. So, yeah, it's just one to watch. But I don't know. I think it's good for the game. Because actually, I feel like we could punt if we want to.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to sell him this week, to be honest. I think I'm just going to sell him this week because I've got my Tottenham space open again now.
Do you?
Yeah, I've got my Tottenham space open again now that I've got rid of Hugo. And I don't feel like... I mean, I'm ranked at like 250k now. I'm going backwards with Salah in my team. Like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to end up like 400k.
interesting.
I'm not gonna. I'm not pissing around with Hall of Fame rankings. Who cares? Just have some fun.
That's interesting. And I wonder if we do get to 33 and we see some people go, well, I could get Bruno in for
Yeah.
but by going him rather in and out. And then you know what's going to happen. He'll get that hat trick against United, and it'll, yeah.
Cool. I've been there before, though. I can take it.
We've been there. We've been there, mate. We've been there. Where are we going?
Brighton were next, weren't they?
Shall we?
I think we need to. I do think we need to. You see how much XG Brighton knocked up?
That's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, it's got a pen in it.
It's got a pen in it. Okay, fair. I think.
Are you giving us hope that Weghorst might get a goal next week?
I just think he might have a chance. He might get a chance. I mean, look, no one ever thought he was going to get any chances against City. Let's not pretend like anybody who was bringing him in for the double thought that he was getting anything from City. They were literally, if you were bringing Weghorst in, you were saying, I've got 4 games in the next 3 game weeks plus City.
Yeah.
So 4 game weeks plus 2 points. And then he got booked. But I mean, it's Norwich, but Brighton were decent.
They're giving up, aren't they?
Yeah, completely. It feels like it.
Brighton are decent.
Tim Krul made some good saves though. Kept him in it. And I think that one in early part of the second half, that's the Veltman header, I think.
Yeah.
I thought Brighton were all right. So
yeah, we're not going there now, though, are you?
No. Okay,
They're done.
Right, guide me. Where are we going?
Burnley, Man City, mate.
Good team.
Good players. Get points.
Good team. Yeah. Pretty simple win for City. Never really felt like they had to get out of third gear. I'm trying to think of this chance in the middle here. This huge XD chance. 0.7. What was it?
God. Why can't I remember what the chance was either? There was a big chance to go there. Pep talked all about it, but it's completely gone from my brain. The one thing I'd definitely say is, interesting that you said about Salah, but Sterling, just the way that Pep talked about him at the end of the game, how important he is, and said he almost comes back from England with that sort of spring in his step. That's really interesting. Really interesting, I think, for looking at it, because we know he can be explosive. We know he can score a hat trick in a game, or get free returns in some form or another. Very difficult when you think about the same sort of price range as Son. But those with Son who are thinking, maybe where do I go on it? You could see people go Son through to Bruno in 33, back out to Sterling. There could be that kind of move out there. And KDB's KDB. He's still there as well. Pep said something really interesting as well about he was quite annoyed that they didn't try and catch the goal difference on Liverpool. That's good to hear.
It just means that you feel like he's going to attack. It was the Phil Foden chance from Cancelo.
Of course it was.
Yeah. You just feel like there's going to be no let up, which is good because it means that he's going to be, provided his players are playing well, he's going to be more consistent with his lineups. You'd think.
I think whatever side Cancelo plays, it's not good for him. Sterling on the right and Grealish on the left, because they'll take that space. They don't need an extra man. I noticed a lot of the times when Cancelo got the ball, he got the ball to pull the defender wide, so he just almost took, and then pushed back in the ball to Grealish, who would then sort of dart inside again. He had the ball in a lot of good places at times, Cancelo, but it never looked like he was going to put a cross into the box. It was always like he was just there to create that overflow of numbers. Not compared to Robbo on the weekend, who I felt like was just a genuine goal for every opportunity. Robbo looked a more fun asset than Cancelo to me.
Interesting.
But look, I mean, I know it's Burnley, Liverpool should have conceded on the weekend. They should have conceded. Look at that.
It's all 0.0. Yeah, 0.1. It doesn't matter where you go to. Like, I think
0.1 XG.
Understat was like 0.06. If you want,
and that's not, far off what they're conceding to most people. So it's that's why they're so good. Would you be surprised if City kept a clean sheet against Liverpool next week?
No,
I wouldn't. I genuinely wouldn't.
No, I mean, no. They're that good.
After seeing the way Watford played, and Watford were good defensively, and this is a much better team. This Watford versus City is a very, very game. But at home, I would not be surprised if they cleaned.
Yeah.
You play them, don't you? You definitely play
I've got a double. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. But yeah,
definitely play them.
Double and sell Salah. It's gonna be fun.
I think that like Matt Doherty's caused an issue for next week. All jokes aside on it, of would you play your Liverpool defenders over Matt away to Villa or Arsenal home to Brighton? I think it's a decision. Because most of us have got like 5 defenders from those teams, or at least 4.
Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting one. Where next? Chelsea.
This was fun.
Look at the smile on our faces. Chelsea.
Almost as big as a smile as Christian Eriksen's.
When they're lovely.
When he tucked that away. Brentford were good. They were really good. They were really efficient, and then you can see that in these. Just lots. I mean, they had a few small chances at the start, but just in that start of that second half, it was just a case of sitting and counter, and they did it so well.
Make no mistake on it. At no point during the game did Chelsea have more XG than Brentford. At 0 point in the game. Is so it's not they. I listened to Tuchel's interview, and he almost called it like a mad 10 minutes, and I was like, mate, and he actually said the words, "No one saw that coming."
I mean, you can say that
mate.
You can say that from minute 1. You can say that pre-game.
No one saw that coming, mate. I know, most of us would have done on predictors 2-0 type results, but it's disrespectful, mate. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not convinced on Thomas Tuchel at the moment in the way that he's doing. You can see the XG they're providing is not good enough to win games. It was 1.1 or whatever it was for Gameweek 21 to 30, 1.3 again, wherever it is. 1.8 is that? 1.8 in total? 1.8,
yeah, saying something like it could be 1.3 to 2.2 depending on what metrics you're using for the whatever.
Yeah, it's 1.8. It's not enough. Not in a ding dong game in what you're trying to do.
Ding-dong game.
Like, you know what I mean?
If you're suffocating, I suppose if you're suffocating, if you're a City against Burnley, then 1.8 XG is plenty.
And they're clever. They were more clever than Brentford, were more clever than Chelsea, and they were tactically. It was horrendous. The way that he lined up. He doesn't know how to play quarterback with Chelsea. Chelsea don't know how to play quarterback. Like, they don't know what they're doing. I sent you the average positions. We got the average positions.
Yeah.
Like, just before you even think about it, you go, right, you're going to play Mount and Ziyech, and you're going to go, well, who's playing where? Like, because they just went to the side. Neither of them are wingers, but neither of them are number 10s either. We're going to play just in that bit in between. Look at the average position. You can't even see Ziyech's number because he's so on. Just right,
just holding hands.
Looks ridiculous. And then you've got an absolute waste in Azpilicueta, just miles back.
Yeah, the shape looks really, really odd.
Really odd. It just doesn't make any sense, even the way that Rudiger and Thiago Silva split. That partially what that is because Rudiger's runs upfield.
Yeah, he runs upfield and shoots.
Exactly. But then I was like, well, how does that play out? So where does that then go to? So if you then go to their final third passes, so I think you've got 2 in that hole on the right-hand side. oh, that's where they were mostly, but they didn't pass there. They just passed all round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. And I thought, that's really odd. I'll go and have a look at some like crosses data. So I looked at crosses data. They made 33 crosses in total in the entire game. 28 of them are from the right-hand side. That's a very lopsided team. Even that, 33 crosses, like one every 3 minutes, when you haven't got Lukaku up top.
It's a lot.
Stupid.
Doesn't make any sense.
You'd play Werner and you wouldn't play Werner. You'd play Havertz and Lukaku, playing both from the start and just go at it. But then when you look at it, Ziyech had 18 crosses in a game. That's absurd. Mount had 8 crosses. I think only 5 of Ziyech's were from corners, by the way. It's 13 open play crosses. And then Aspi has 2.
Yeah.
Like completely wasting your wing backs, completely wasting fullback, whatever it is, just nonsense. And if you look, so where did they create the chances from? 0 from the right wing. Literally none. Didn't create a single chance from out there. All their ones are from deep, weird little through ball type things and trying to do, but it just looks really bad tactically. And then they just got done on the counter because if you go, can you go back to average position map?
I can.
So on the position map, if you look at it, is where's their central midfield?
Who's in their central midfield?
Number 12? Is that Kovacic?
Yeah, I think that's Kovacic. I'm just bringing up Chelsea's team on my phone now. Hold on. This is how well prepared I am.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek it was.
Oh, okay.
That's N'Golo Kante up front. In front of Timo Werner.
Yeah. And then you've got Kai Havertz slightly deeper than Ziyech and Mount.
It's stupid, right? And then guess what? What did Brentford play? Brentford played Janelt, Norgard, Eriksson. 3-man central midfield.
Yeah.
It's just clever. And what they do is, Tony was so clever against them, is when they go long, he just runs. He just runs at Thiago Silva. He runs at Rudiger, tries to get the flick on, but it doesn't matter because even if the head comes down, it's 2 against 1. Yeah. And that's what Dunham over and over again. Eriksson used to do it for us. He loves nicking the ball away on when it's loose. Norgard's good at it. Janelt's good at it. They're big guys as well. You know, Janelt's like 6 foot, and they're natural sided. You know, Janelt and Henry are both left footed, so they're both out in the right place.
It's ironic. It's ironic because the player that I'm looking at this map of average positions. And the player that's probably in the best position and makes the most sense is Alonso. I mean, and I'm talking like he looks like the most disciplined player in the team.
You know why?
With this map,
they took him off in 55 minutes, and then the team fell apart. Interestingly, they took him off on 55 minutes. And then everything went proceeded to go. They'd just gone 2-1 after the Eriksson goal. They took him straight off and then went 3-1 and 4-1 down. Rubbish.
Enjoyable.
Just they've got to be better than that.
And we were championing them defensively last week.
Yeah,
as well. And
they're not good defenders for quarterback. Thiago Silva, we've talked about why is he good? He's good in the centre of a free.
Yeah.
Rudiger is an appalling defender in a pair, literally as bad as it possibly gets, because he's doing 50-yard runs every 5 minutes.
And this is why, and we'll get to Tottenham, but this is why Romero works better in a 3 because he does a similar thing. Does the same thing.
You'd be absolute. If you said, "Oh, you got to put him in a 2," you'd be like, and Dyer, you'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't take that pace." Like, oh my god. Ben Davies is part of a 2. You'd be like, oh, no. Like, these players are made for a thing. Like, Rudiger is not, he's too selfish for it. You know, Thiago's too limited in what he can do. And he's so specialist at it. So, but that's what they ended up doing almost. That ended up like, Aspi became like a right, weird, something between a right centre back and a right wing. But then Mount and Ziyech, no one really knew whether they were playing right wing back or not. It was just
I mean, we've said,
poor.
I think it's,
And then
go on.
what about the fact that he brought James on for Alonso and kept him on the left?
Stuck him on the left. I mean, that was bizarre, because you'd have thought the right thing to do would have been, in fact, actually, as strange as this sounds, bringing off someone like Werner or bringing off Ziyech would have been the move, wouldn't it? Ziyech for James, push James in at right wing back, put Azpilicueta back in at right centre back, and then go. And then you just got Alonso and James just like bang, bang, bang.
It's arrogance. Just even the comments, just arrogance, mate. I just stuff him.
Yeah. Right, we need to move faster.
I tell you what I like Jesse Marsh.
I'll go on.
He's nice, isn't he? We'll go
Southampton.
next. Leeds, Southampton. I like Hassan Hootel. I like Jesse Marsh. They talk in a nice way. I'd want to play for him. I want to play for Thomas Tuchel. So they did all right. I thought even Hassan Hootel was quite interesting, talking about wanting to get top 10. I think with the amount of money that's in the Premier League at the moment now, and what you see and what it means and stuff, I don't think the beach is anywhere near like it was for a lot of teams. If they're good managers and good sets of players, they know they've just got to keep going.
Yeah.
So that was pleasing. And the whole thing's actually just a nice game. James Ward-Prowse. He's an interesting pick on.
Don't say it. Don't say
on
it.
33, isn't he? That free hit.
I can't pick him for one fixture.
That's what you do.
No, it is what I do, but I can't. I can't do it. You can't do it. You can't pick when he's going to haul. You just can't.
Would you captain him? In the double game week?
No. No.
I liked what I saw of it. I mean, I'm interested for Rafinha next week again. I'll sell him at 33, but for Maddison, I'm absolutely sure of that. But he'll stay for this week. I thought he picked up some good central positions. It's pleasing. Pleasing.
I was just having a look at that prize money thing and just thinking, where are Southampton at the moment in the league?
It's quite tight. It's quite a lot of money you can make there.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's a few million quid from a prize money point of view. It's a few million.
It's not the prize. I think there's also in the apportioning of the TV rights and all that stuff. I think the whole thing's just money.
Yeah. So 9, 10, 11.
Money.
Yeah. Although ironically, Newcastle got apportioned more than Leeds last year for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if there are on the beach though, is it Villa?
Oh, if we're talking about players on the beach, teams on the beach.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm saying this, because Tottenham have got Villa next week, and I'm about to say that they're completely on the beach and they're a load of rubbish, and you just know what's going to happen.
Yeah, Coutinho is going to pop off.
We're all captaining Kane next week, though, yeah.
Yes.
Or Matt.
Well, I'll have to bring Matt in. Oh, I won't have Matt because I might have Son.
Yeah, maybe. It's. I mean, they just went really early. Johnny, what man?
Well, yeah, but that's a little bit deceiving, because there were 3 shots in that goal. Right.
Good point.
You talked a few weeks ago about
I did it.
XG. So
good call up.
So Podence has the one chance, and then it drops to Fabio Silva. He has another, and like both of them like piss around with it, and then Johnny just comes in and just lashes it into the top corner at the third attempt. So yes, they built up like 0.7 XG when that goal went in, but it was 3 shots that made that.
All right, so they're still Wolves. They're still not very good.
Still Wolves, really.
Yeah, still not very good. Still very good. And
that second
and Watkins is still
Watkins
at the end.
Oh, that second goal doesn't have any XG because it was an own goal, doesn't it? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I think the goal for Villa there might not be the one chance. Is it the chance? Because Watkins had the easy chance which he missed, and then the penalty. Maybe it is.
Well, I don't remember what happened just before it.
Yeah, he had a good chance, and then just before he then had the penalty.
Do you want to talk about the penalty?
Yeah, let's talk about the penalty. Well, first of all,
do you think it was a penalty?
I don't like it being a penalty. And I certainly don't like the referee giving it a penalty. I believe once the referee gives a penalty, I don't really want them to overturn it. Because I've never liked those penalties. You know the penalties that you see often sometimes where like the ball's just like the striker's like 1 yard away from the touchline, it's going to go out and they nick it past, which is a goal kick, but then the keeper touches them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate those because actually they're not there, but I'm sure there's a rule in the game where it says you made contact with a player, not the ball, basically, that says it's a penalty, and it's like, it just doesn't feel right in the game. Nothing feels right about that. And I
didn't like it.
You don't like it, do you? It's like the Jimenez one the other week, when he gets sent off. It's very similar to that, isn't it?
It's a little bit different.
If not worse.
I say it's a little bit different in that Watkins collides with the back of Sarr. Like it's not like Sarr's come into and made contact. And for some reason, I don't know why this was, and I'm probably wrong on it, but I thought that there was there was a piece of it around initiation of contact.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But there's nothing in the law to state that, because I had a look at the law. I had a look at Law 12 earlier on because I wanted just to make sure. But there was nothing in there about like initiation of contact, because there's definitely no initiation of contact from Jose Sarr, because Watkins comes out through the back of him, I mean through the back of him, but the contact is made beyond like Sarr's body. It's actually like the back of his leg, the bottom leg, and Sarr's just coming out to collect the ball, and he misses. Watkins gets there first, and then sort of almost goes behind him, which is why I don't like it anymore.
It's just crap, isn't it, mate? Like we're honest.
But but
go on.
Where is it? Here.
Darren England.
And so last week we saw this stat anyway, right?
Yeah.
We knew last week that Darren England had refereed 11 games and had given 5 penalties to the away team.
Yep.
Last week he refereed Leicester versus Brentford.
Yep.
So we both brought in Ivan Toney as a punt on the chance that he may give a penalty away.
We did.
Bastard didn't do that, but this week he certainly made sure that he gave a penalty for the away team.
It's horrendous, actually, isn't it? Look at that. 13 games this season. He's given 8 penalties, 6 to away teams, and he's had 8 chances to give a penalty. So there's been 8 appeals of any kind. He's given all 8. That Craig Pawson down the bottom. Now, Craig Pawson's a bad referee, so he's not the best example of this one, but he's given 1 penalty all season out of 21 games ref. That's the stuff that we don't like. It's just that you never know what you're getting everywhere. How can you have something where you have video refs applying similar things every week and stuff, and you have one person who's given 1 penalty from 21 games and the other guy's given 8 from 13? And interestingly, Craig Pawson's had more chances, had 9 potential penalties and given away 1. And that's actually quite normal for most. Is like, you wouldn't expect to give away every penalty. Is Mike Dean has given, what's he given there? 3 penalties from 13 decisions.
Yeah, which feels very Mike Dean as well.
Which feels it. Even Anthony Taylor, though, 8 from 14. That feels, 50-50. Feels about what you'd expect, wouldn't you?
Yeah. 8 from 8's too many. I mean, it's weird. It seems to be on these smaller sample sizes, like Andy Madley, 4 from 4. But yeah, Darren England.
What's bad refs? That's why they don't get as many games. Amazing.
It's almost like it's
he doesn't get the 20 games because he doesn't know what he's doing, and that's what you do, wouldn't you? If I was given the ref whistle and said go do it, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to give the penalty. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. Anyway,
where are we off to?
Where were we? We were at Wolves, Villa,
and Man United.
Is that where we're off to? Man United.
Man United, Leicester. What do you think about that disallowed goal at the end?
I think the right decision was made in the end. I actually think the right decision was made in the end. It's a bit of a shit one, but I actually think the right decision was made there.
Great.
I'm kind of like the opposite to the penalty for Wolves, for Villa. Sorry, in that it's quite clear you can see him drag his foot back.
Yeah.
What impact that has on him, other than, I mean, do I think that he could have got back or was he going to be involved anyway? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not.
Yep.
But then there's too much whataboutery there, and
Once you can see the leg
he's
pull,
hooked his leg.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You give it. You hate it if it's your team against it, and you hate it, if you're at FPL and you're at Madison. But it feels all right. Yeah. But the game in I mean, look, it looks. We say all the time, don't we? Leicester game start 1-0, and this one did start 1-0, and it wasn't good enough to get past 1-0.
Yeah, basically.
That was it.
That period between like 25 and 60, there's just nothing.
You got one brilliant save at the end from De Gea. Just that's an absurd save. That's his wheelhouse, isn't it? That one there that goes up to his right is he loves those. He loves those. But yeah, pretty rank game. I just felt that every time Leicester went at them, they were suddenly 3-on-2, 3-on. I don't get it. The formation. I
No, and it's weird because I'm going to go on full circle here because you feel like Bruno plays better or had been playing better. Well, the thing is they've shifted formation from that 4-2-2-2 to the 4-2-3-1.
Yep.
But with the 4-2-3-1, you need a focal point.
Yep.
And if you haven't got that focal point, which is Ronaldo, then it does fall apart a bit. And then
the bit that doesn't make any sense is Fred's been their best player every time I watch him.
Yeah.
He's technically a centre midfielder. Bruno is sort of a central midfielder. Paul Pogba is a world-class centre midfielder. McTominay and Matic, move on. But they've got central midfielders, but you watch them, and the first thing I watched when I could see them was there's no central midfield. So I went and looked on their touch maps of their team, and you can just see that there's
they just don't touch the ball in the middle.
Well, De Gea touches the ball way too much in a way. Like that's a lot for a keeper to be touching the ball back far. But then they just don't hold the ball down the middle at all. And
it looks like they don't even recycle the ball through the middle.
Nah. So therefore,
there's no real transitions. It's like I'm just going to go one like ping pong, one to the other side.
If you call up the individual heat maps of Pogba, of McTominay, of Matic, of Fred yesterday, you tell me where any of them played. And we've said this many, many times that they don't know where to do and they don't do it. They made 131 passes between the four of them yesterday. And Rodri on his own for City made 105.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. 270 minutes between them.
I mean, yeah, I think to add a little bit of context, I think to try and compare Burnley to Leicester in that way and the way the game would be played, it's probably a little bit different. But
you can see it. Like, when would I look at this? Like, I wouldn't look at this kind of thing down the middle and go, where's everyone touching the ball? But it was just like, it feels like there's no one there. Every time, whether they're in possession or out of possession, it's like the seas part, isn't it? It's literally Moses. Like,
yeah.
It's weird. So weird. It's bad management. I know everyone keeps saying about United and saying that, oh, how many managers can they go through and all this stuff, and they need to look them at themselves in the eye and do all those stuff. But we're past those days where you just had to tell people that to run a bit harder and stuff like that. We're past that. We can show people this and say, what on earth are you doing? And train people to play in better positions. Like, this is bad coaching, and bad coaching for some time now. They need a really good coach, hence why they're doing the interviews they're doing.
It's weird. I've always felt that, like, you always feel that you play on I'm going to take it all the way back to like a Saturday afternoon local league, and players kind of play where they think they should play. And I've always felt that the top level always have scenarios. A ball reaches a certain place on the pitch with a certain player, and then in that scenario you should have X, Y, Z in certain positions to create zones, create passes. And I've always felt that. I mean, and that was this is like 15 years ago that I've been thinking that, and we've always thought that. And yet now we actually have the physical imagery that tells people where they're going. These guys are wearing Stat Sports blooming vests every single week. We know exactly where they are on the pitch at every single minute. And you're absolutely right. You know, they need to be coached back into, or the United players need to be coached back into sort of where they have to be on a football pitch.
But you don't know it's weird formations. Like, you also can't play that different. You see it at Chelsea. When Chelsea were playing 3-5-2 and everyone knew it early in the season, yes, you knew what was coming, but they were really, really good at it. Then now they're trying to muck around with 4 at the back and weird formations, and you don't know if it's going to be Lukaku or Havertz is weird. Like, if I throw back to Tottenham, do you remember when we had Soldado and Adebayor as our 2 strikers?
Mm-hmm.
One's 6'6" and one's 5'10".
Yep.
Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because one change changes everything. And then it throws everything out. You need to have a system in which you play.
I did enjoy Crouch and Defoe, though.
Yeah, because they work together. But those two didn't play together.
Because they didn't talk.
We played 4-2-3-1 sometimes and played one or the other. And it was like, well, how does it work? Well, it's a bit like this. Ronaldo or Bruno, they're just very, very different. You should play the Ronaldo way. And then if not, put Rashford up there. You should just do it and stay with it. And he was like, you see the interview and he said, well, we had the choice. We could have done the Rashford and stayed the same system, or we could have done that one and we went that way. And you're like, even that, it's just so meh. Like, be forceful. This is how we play. This is what you're going to do. This is what I expect of you. These people need to be told.
You don't feel you don't feel it's like a club that's pulling in the same direction anyway. The squad in particular, you just feel like you're going to be met with resistance anytime you try and introduce something that provides a bit more structure. I do feel like that. The United side feels cliquey. It feels, it just feels broken and fractured in that way. And I think. I don't know how they're going to fix that. They're not going to fix that with a well. They just need a better manager in.
Yeah, I think better manager, but it's what they need to look at is the technical way of doing it, because Pochettino is the most stubborn man I know, and would happily just cast aside people if they don't go his way. And I think that team needs that more than they need the great coaching that they will get from Ten Hag. I actually think Pochettino is far, far more what they need.
Fair enough.
He's a fighter. You have to fight at Ajax.
Yeah. Everyone just expects you to be good, don't they? I guess that's
You come in and it's like, oh, we just got these kids that are just magnificent. We just bring them through, sell them on, get some more, win this league, do this, get in the Champions League every year. You can have fun, do some automations, it'll be all right. Like, good. And do that. But hey, he coached Hakim Ziyech. Look how good he is at positions.
Donny van der Beek.
Donny van der Beek working an absolute treat, these guys. Oh, De Ligt, he's doing well out there, isn't he? They want rid of him. Frankie de Jong, they want rid of him. Like,
and they threw a 3-goal lead away against Tottenham in 2019.
Do you know what I mean? Like. It's disrespectful, I think, sometimes the way that Poch is treated.
Can't believe I've just gone back 3 years.
Yeah.
But great night. Anyway, away from United, we're on to today.
Yeah. West Ham. Antonio's still playing really well.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, I missed the first half of this, but second half, he just looked like he was bullying them. And, Everton aren't a good side. They're not a good side.
They're just a stupid side. It's not like they're just stupid.
Yeah. This is just. I'm just looking at it. It's just bad. I mean,
it's bad, isn't it?
It looks like, in fact, actually, what it looks like from West Ham is they look like they're actually just saving energy. Once the red card happened, they was like, okay, they're not going to create anything now. So we'll just relax into it a little bit.
Players like Fornals and Benrahma are massively underrated. They're really good players. Just look at the whole team. Actually,
we've said that before, though. But the problem with from an FPL point of view, the problem is knowing when to pick them and who to pick. Because of the rotation, because they all sort of fit in around Antonio, and I think that's why Bowen is a lock now, because he's the one that just fits in and he just works.
But they work for the right places. They sacrifice what they need to do for the Thomas Soucek, like scored goal for fun last season, and now he just stands there in front of the defence. Like he rarely ventures out past the halfway line and just says, "I'm blocking that." You know, he's good coach. Good coach does good things. Declan Rice is just.
What you mean?
Obscene.
You mean the coach that used to be at United?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that
we'll
one.
go back there, shall we?
Yeah. No. Carry on.
It's just it's sensible picks, isn't it? Dawson and Zuma are big lads. Fredericks is quick, which offsets the fact that Cresswell's not quick. Yeah, so it becomes
ridiculous.
You know, is it then becomes almost goes back to the three at the back in attack, and Fornals pulls wide. They're just clever people. You know, Bowen partners well with Antonio, gets the goal fortunately, but actually 13 passes. Like everyone says, oh, maybe Bowen's back. 13 passes in the entire game for Bowen.
Yeah, didn't touch it.
Not involved. There was a reason why he came off on 70. He was actually having a really bad game in general. Whereas Antonio, I thought, was everything but blanks, which is pretty much the story of second half season for him.
since about game week 10.
Yeah.
The longest second half of a season ever.
God,
Everton.
Everton.
Again, that's the thing about, we said it, and I'm not trying to compare Bowen to Salah, but he's clearly capable. He's clearly capable of being on the mark when you need him to be there, and that's been a really big part of his game this season. It's been games where he's been not so involved. I think he scored that brace. He didn't have the greatest game then either, and he scored a brace, including that header. I mean, I think who was it we were talking with? I think we were talking to Andy last year about owning Bowen, and he just enjoyed owning him because he was so direct. And I think that's what you get. You get efficiency from him in that he takes a couple of touches and he gets a chance because he's in the right position. He doesn't necessarily have to be involved all the time.
Yep.
But is that what you want? What is he? 6.7, 6.6, something like that now, probably.
He's efficient though because he doesn't do a lot. Actually,
he picks up bonus.
Yeah, because he's got none of the minuses. Mm-hmm. It's very good, really. Can't argue with it. I don't see us going anywhere near either team from here on in. And just Lampard, why would he have to say in his press conference yesterday, I've picked Gordon, or Friday, where it was, I've picked Gordon for started him in every game since I've been here, and then benches him. Like, why would you say it?
Don't know.
Just say it. Just anyway. Everton bad. West Ham still punching. Still a very good team. It's just the depth. Behind that team.
Yeah, and they've got games coming up, right? They've got lots of games coming up potentially.
Yeah.
They've got to get past. I mean, who have they got in the next round of Europa?
They still got Sevilla. Or was that?
No, they've done Sevilla. I don't know who they've got.
They got the team before. Is it Leon and then Barca?
Before Barca.
Team before Barca. Is it Leon?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. Asking a Tottenham fan whether I follow West Ham's fixtures in Europe, you got to be.
It is Leon. I know it's Leon actually because my postie is a West Ham fan, and I saw him yesterday, and he said, "Oh, I'm off to Leon."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and when's that? 14th of April. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's but they're still in amongst it.
Yeah.
Still in amongst it. Moving on, last one.
So this would be a little bit different, I think, because we were going to talk about sort of as a prelude to Tottenham. Now, the graphic isn't fantastic on this one. It's not set up fantastically because we thought we'd do something just a little bit differently. But we wanted to just, again, remind people, because we like to remind people, that although, we're Tottenham fans, we're biased, etc., etc., the stats aren't biased.
No.
Right. They're not. So, what I've got...
Slightly framed in that we don't start them till November the 2nd because we don't acknowledge any day before Conte exists.
That's it. Yeah, like Tottenham ended at the end of Poch and then started again with Conte.
November the 2nd, the day the Tottenham season started again.
Which I think is fair. I mean, I think it's fair in some respects because it is a completely different coaching style. And I think if you wanted to really frame it, you could add 3 weeks to that and say it took Conte 3 weeks to get involved properly. But just looking at Understat. So Understat have got some wonderful charts from and you can pick your filters, pick your dates, etc. And I don't know whether you can see my mouse on the screen, but if not, then you can see I'm scrolling up and down. These are each of the game weeks that have taken place, and some have played more, etc. But what is quite stark and obvious is the top 3 that you can see. So this is non-penalty XG since Conte arrived. Liverpool 46.4, City 43.2, Tottenham 41.4, and then Man United on 30.7. So there's
25%, 33% more than fourth place.
Yes. And then just behind United is Leeds, which is ridiculous, but
yeah, it is ridiculous. But up there.
Just putting that out there. We're not here to talk about Leeds as such, but Leeds non-penalty XG is mad. But that is absolutely relentless from Tottenham. 20 games, right? And we've said Tottenham above 2 XG. We've been above 2 XG since Conte arrived.
And it's catching City.
And
look at the trajectory. It's catching.
Yeah, we're getting closer. And we've both got good fixture runs, so we'll see how that pans out. But you could find a way. I mean, just the way that we've played today. I mean, how long do you think it will? I mean, they've got Liverpool next week. I mean, that could easily be 1.5 next week. Tottenham could put 2.5 past.
Could do. I could do. They're actually quite. Late Riser was saying that I think something like averaged like 5 goals or something in the games between City and Liverpool. So it is actually genuinely quite a high scoring game. So it might not be, but based on their defensive performances this season, both teams should be under 1 XG really. Or if you just sort of middle out between their attack and defense, it's probably both should be under 2. But we shall see. But Tottenham are a serious attack. And you've got effectively 4 attacking options, haven't you? In Son, Kulu, Doc, and Kane.
Yeah.
And from a top 10K perspective, 75% owned Kane, 60% owned Doc, 60% owned Kulu, nearly 50%, or we certainly will be now, Son. You've actually...
Wildcarders. I mean, anyone with a wildcard is going to move to Kane and Son.
And they will. You've got to have 3 at the moment. Very, very difficult. And the fixtures are good. They continue to be good.
So just a reminder on those fixtures, just because the biggest problem with Tottenham's double is that it's like the hardest double that you could possibly, it's up there with one of the toughest doubles that we could have. We're essentially against Liverpool and against Arsenal. So that's as tough as you can get. But outside of that, it's Villa, Brighton, Brentford.
Yep.
Leaky Leicester.
Yep.
Burnley and Norwich to finish. Christ. Yeah. I mean,
the difficulties once you've got 3 of those 4 is, what do you do? I mean, we advocated on our special that we did for this is that we basically said, whoever you've got, stay with it, just get more. That was it. We didn't advocate selling Son for Kane. We were like, get your 3 you need. Get the 3 that you can afford and work with that.
Yeah.
I still think it is that. But because I still think there is the position that we stay in, which is that Son doesn't really get the points without Kane. So his goal today, you might say Kulu made it, Kane made it. That ball to Kulu, the check on it to not go out of play was obscene.
Yeah.
And so everything he does is so integral to Kane was the best player on that pitch today still. Everyone, there's so many, but Kane is still the best player on that pitch. And so you need him. So you can't go Kane to Son. And if you can't get there the other way and you can't rip your team up, I think you can still stick with Kulu and Doc. But the good thing, is there an argument that you could go Kulu, Son and Kane? because last 8 games, 27 goal contributions. So currently you're getting 3 goal contributions a game between those 3.
Not bad. And the fixtures are going to get better.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Dangerous. So we'll move on to.
Did you want to look at us defensively, just as a marker, or?
Well, I think defensively the thing is, Doc just can get you avenue to points wherever you go now. Like, it's so clear. I know Royal scored today, but we were just slating him for 70 minutes. You could just see he's so much worse than him. So if Cess is back, if Reggie's back, he just goes back onto that right-hand side. But I think there could be something that you look at it. All of our best chances from a goal perspective come from that left side, don't they?
Yeah.
Like we say it every week. I tweeted before the game and said, I cannot wait to see Doc with Reggie's chances.
Yeah. And he was, he was right behind Son when he scored. Like, he was literally there.
Yeah.
2 yards to the left of him, he was there. Because if Son's touch had been bad, Doc would have scored.
It could stay that way. It could stay that way next week, especially with Cess just back. I think I can see him staying that way.
Yeah. I don't hate it, because whilst Royale's not going to give you the same thing that Doc would on the right, as long as he just gives it to Kulu, I'm fine.
I think Romero is in such obscene form that it doesn't matter who's right wing back, because and Kulu is, isn't he?
Yeah.
So Romero's the best right-sided centre back the world's ever seen, and Kulu is just absolutely flying. So the other person is just a go-between. That's how comes he could get in the middle, isn't it? For the goal, is because he can just come off that flank, because Kulu will still be there and Romero's behind him.
Yeah, just back him up.
He can have some fun with it. So either way, that's fantastic news for Doc, isn't it? If he's on the left, he gets Reggie's chance. On the right, he doesn't need to stay there, because Kulu and Romero are just absolutely bossing it. Doc's got to play every week. It's fun. And yeah, we've got to win still. Like, we might win 5-1 and that today, but we still need Chelsea and Arsenal to keep slipping up. We've got to win every game.
Yeah, and we need them to draw. Well, we need either them to draw or Chelsea to win. Well, I don't know, after what happened this weekend.
Still a lot of points on Chelsea. What is it, 7 points on Chelsea?
Is that what they've got?
Yeah, okay. It's a lot, mate.
Then yeah, we just need Chelsea to win that game.
It's a lot. It's five points, but they've got a game in hand, so it could be 8.
Yeah, but that game in hand's against Arsenal.
True.
That's the game in hand against Arsenal. I don't know who Arsenal have got as their second game in hand. Can't remember.
Us.
But no, it can't be.
Oh yeah, that
doesn't work.
That is one of the games they've got in hand, isn't it?
It is, but they must have another one. So
Chelsea.
No, Chelsea. Mate, they can't catch up 2 games if they play us and Chelsea. That's only one game.
But
we just got to keep winning.
We just got to keep winning.
So, what do you want to look at today?
What is there to look at? Like, we're creating loads of chances, scoring loads of goals. It's the first time as a Tottenham fan I've never expected to score 3 goals, but it didn't even cross my mind that we would score less than 3 goals today.
Yeah,
and Newcastle have been playing well defensively. That's just a really good thing for people that are Tottenham fans and do a podcast.
It's great. Be looking forward to the extra inch this week.
Yeah. It's bloody lovely, mate.
Yeah. So okay, so that's just basically the makeup of the XG. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that, if I can remember where it is. I'm going to try and very quickly just bring that image up with a timing chart there.
Look at it.
Just a reminder of the XG there.
This is exactly what we talked about last week when you see the quality of chances. When we did that special on Kane and Son, we showed about where they shoot from. They're always big chances. We did that thing on saying we don't have as many shots as Arsenal, but the average shot is about 0.3 XG.
Yeah.
Well, what have we got there? 5 goals. Guess what? It's about 2 XG for those. And then the chances we missed, the Son big one that he missed, is probably it's the only one that we missed, really.
Yeah.
Kane probably for his one, one that was blocked, probably it felt like that was one that you thought he was gonna put in. But they're good players, playing really well. It's lovely.
I think what's good now, even with these last 8 weeks, is that the bit that we did on the Spurs assets, like the little bonus video, actually quite a lot of that is really still relevant.
Oh, put a link on it end of this video, mate. Can we do that?
I'll put it in the description. Put it in the description. It'll be the recommended video at the end as well. So yeah, take a look at that.
Yeah. I tell you what, I didn't see coming, but it makes sense actually, even on that video. So we talked about Kulu being like half wing back, half right winger. His baseline's obscene. I've never seen a right winger with that kind of baseline. 32 on the bonus. It's more this way. So you get 9 for the assist. So 23 baseline. Think of someone like Salah averages something like 7 on the baseline.
Yeah. And they're playing in technically the same position?
Yeah. He is a gold. If he ever scores, he's top end. Well, he might not be because we can score 5 goals. But yeah, in a 5-1 game, to get bonus when you had 1 assist and came off after 75 minutes.
Mad.
That's pretty unheard of. He's still a really good asset.
Yeah, agreed.
Still a really, really good asset, but hard to go against Doc at this kind of form, the way he's doing it. So if you've got Kulu, I don't think you move off him. If you've got Kane, you don't. Wouldn't move off him. It's going to be a lot of really hard decisions in 33.
Yeah, agreed.
Because do you really back United? Mind you, Norwich was bad, weren't they? Norwich was really bad there, wasn't it?
Really
I think if Vegor scores against Norwich, then you've just got to bring someone in from United.
That's probably a fair marker.
Yeah, that's the fair marker.
Yeah.
Maybe you do free hit it. Maybe that's the week.
I could just bring in Fred.
Maybe you bring Fred in.
Bargain. I mean,
who for though? How many spare midfield spots has anyone got?
Well, it depends. Everyone's going 5 at the back, right?
You bet.
Right, let's move away from Tottenham, unfortunately.
Move away from Tottenham, but if you think about your midfield, where do you go?
Well, I think that anyone that's looking because you're going to want a Leicester. You want a Leicester really.
A Tottenham, whether it's Son or Kulu, Salah.
Maybe.
Yes, you do want
Salah. KDB? If you can get to him. Then what?
Saka?
Jesus, yes, Saka.
Got to have Saka. So Saka, Leicester,
but you've got
Spurs, Salah. It's 4 out of your 5 spots.
Yeah.
And then you've got that 5th spot.
Of which I've got like Martinelli at the moment or Rafinha.
I've got Coutinho stuck on my bench at the moment, 7.5 million. Just because the fixtures get a bit better as the game goes on.
Well, they've got a double as well coming up.
Yeah.
There's plenty of that's a good thing though. There's plenty of ways to play it at least. There's not like
there is.
It's not like you're sort of set in stone. And it's almost I almost wish 26. I almost wish if Salah hadn't have smashed it 26, we'd all be off him by now. Not all, but he wouldn't be 190% owned. If he hadn't smashed it in 26, if he'd have got, say, 10 to 15 points, like if he got 10 points like he did in 29,
you'd be open to it. Yeah.
He wouldn't have been 190% owned this week. No way.
Yeah, I don't know. We come off. I think it might be. You brave people would. And I suppose it's that time of the season where you got some people that are going to go, well, I've got to take some chances. I saw old Pig. He
Captain
Bruno went from it. So if that came off, if Bruno had just scored, people would have seen it. That stuff does spread.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting. Anyway, we're done for the week, are we?
We're done for the week. We'll do more because 32 is just like a normal week. We'll do more about 33 leading up to 36 next week, I think.
And I think that's how you want to be. I think you want to just keep it open still.
Yeah, I think that's wise. Well, the only other thing that's happened this week is you dropped me a bombshell that you're not going to be here for the last 2 weeks of the season. Didn't you?
Need a guest. No, I will be here. I just won't be for the last game of the season.
I thought you go the Saturday before, or do you go the Saturday?
No. I go the Saturday before the final day of the season.
Oh, okay.
So we could do a pre-pod. We could do like a Friday night before, maybe.
You could do a Friday night before you head off to the US with your mates on Saturday.
About 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, okay. So yeah, probably need a guest or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but
we'll work on it.
We'll work it out. And yeah, we still potentially got 2 guests coming up, which we've locked in, but still need to speak to them and get firm dates. So Sam Bonfield and Mark McGettigan, the FPL General. I apologise if both of you are listening. My headspace isn't quite there right now with work. So by the end of this week coming, I will have cleared a big lot of my mind for work out of the way. So cool. We can start organising and firming up some dates from there.
Can we have one last star wipe to finish?
Where would you like to go?
Anywhere, just.
Oh, we'll go. Well, we star wiped into this screen just a second ago, mate.
Did we?
Yeah, you didn't even notice.
Give us one more star wipe.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do it on the way out.
All right,
as always. So, final bit of admin, guys. Make sure you follow the podcast and follow Baker. I'm at Above Average FPL. Baker is at Baker FPL343 on Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good rest of the week. Anything else to add, mate?
Have a good week, mate.
Cool. Oh, and comment for Fest tickets as well.
Comment. What do you need to say?
I want a ticket. I want a ticket. That's all you need to say, and we'll put you in a draw which we'll do next week.
Nice one.
Cool, mate. Have a good one.
See you later. Bye.
Cheers, bye.